Okay, welcome to yet another of my Saints Row 3 activities video. This is going to be Mayhem Part 1. I'm actually doing Part 1 and Part 2 back to back of each other. This is the first instance of Mayhem.
Still think I'm just a pretty face?
And since both Mayhems are available at the same time, I'm just arbitrarily starting with the one in Bridgeport. I think this one's a little easier, actually. So no, I don't have the rocket launcher available because it's only level 1, but then again, you only need 115,000 points, so I'll just stick with my fire-breathing Uzis. And notice you start out with one gang star and one level of police notoriety. I keep calling it a star, and it really isn't, but whatever. I guess that's yet another old habit in GTA that dies hard. And the more stuff you start out with 1 star, as I said, but the more stuff you destroy, obviously, the notoriety goes up. This isn't too terribly hard. One tip I'll give you, and I used to give this to people in Saints Row 1 and 2 also, is fences are like gold in this game. Just remember, fences are your friend when it comes to Mayhem. Because as soon as you see those fences, if you kind of can find them, they give you tons of points. Now, also the gas tanks, if you can get them. Not gas tanks, gas pumps. Not the greatest amount of points, but they're easy points. And by the way, in case you're not aware of this, but you probably are, most people probably are, this is another imported activity from Saints Row and Saints Row 2. The principle is basically the same. You're given certain weapons. In the easy level, you're not given the rocket launcher. That's why I'm concentrating on the fire-breathing Uzi. And the principle is you have infinite amounts of whatever weapon you're given, and you have to build up points. In addition to points, you want to build up your multiplier. Because if, let's say, you get 450 points for that gas pump right there, it would be not just 450 points, it would be 450 points times whatever your current multiplier is. So obviously it makes sense to get your multiplier as high as possible. And you get your multiplier higher by destroying stuff in rapid succession. Same principle as Tank Mayhem, only you don't have to tank. By the way, if any of you are having difficulty with any of these, you can sort of kind of cheat, and all you have to do is get a tank.
That works. And
you can treat this like Tank Mayhem, and you'll get through it a lot quicker. You know, I've done it using the tank and experimented, and I can assure you it definitely is easier to do it with the tank. Although on the easy and medium levels, it's not hard at all. When you get up to hard, it starts to get a little grueling. Not just to rack up all the points you need, but to stay alive.
No problem.
Because right now I only have 1 gang star and 1 police star, so obviously that level is pretty much of a cake. Okay, so let's get started with the second instance of this activity, which is going to be medium, located in New Barrack. And this is...
Catch you later.
Notice how I'm looking for a good car. This is what I call sandbox snobbery. I could grab any car and get there within a minute, but of course I have to look for the best car I can find and only settle for a taxi cab because I can't find anything decent. So I'm sitting there turning my nose up at all these cars for absolutely no good reason whatsoever other than, again, what I call sandbox snobbery. So I think all of us can pretty much resonate with that one. Oh, by the way, I made one minor mistake. The medium instance of this activity is in Yearwood. Not that I think anybody really cares about getting the neighborhood wrong. I could picture a few anal retentive people getting pissy with me about that. But anyway, no biggie. Alright, so let's get started with the medium. This one I do have the rocket launcher. Alright, and in Mayhem, when I have the rocket launcher available, I pretty much use it exclusively along with grenades. And my experience with Mayhem is the big thing is you got to be on the lookout for stuff to blow up, like those wooden fences over there. Perfect. And then there's some fences. Looking back alleys for more fences. And notice I'm keeping my well, I was going to say I was keeping my combo going, but I lost it at 41 because I didn't get back yet. And I need 200,000, which is not too horrible. The two big challenges in Mayhem in this game, you know, not tank Mayhem, just regular Mayhem, is staying alive when the gangs and police get really pissed off at you, and trying to find enough stuff to destroy to reach your target dollar amount. Now in this case it's not so bad, because look at all these fences here. Even though I'm not finding a lot of stuff on the streets, there's a lot of stuff here. So I'm getting my multiplier fairly high. Although I've gotten my multiplier in these games up to in the hundreds. It's not as necessary. Now, as you can see, with only 2 gang and 2 police notoriety, it's not really... Survival is not as difficult as it would be. And that's pretty cool. Now I'm up to about 30 multiplier. And now I see a lot of fences and stuff here. So we'll start going to work on those. And you'd be surprised. Look how quickly I'm going from under 100,000, getting my numbers up pretty quickly. Again, a lot of that has to do with destroying a lot of stuff, and a lot of that has to do with combo. And just as a reminder, I think I mentioned it on the last level, on the easy level, that you can, if you're having trouble with this, and you have a tank in your garage, or you have the homie tank delivery unlocked, just get a tank before you start the mission. The tank will make this really easy. This will literally become as easy as Tank Mayhem. And Tank Mayhem is pretty good.
This is so much more relaxing.
Look at all these fences. I mean, you're probably noticing that the majority of stuff I'm destroying, other than gang and police that are getting in my way, the majority of stuff that I'm getting my points on are fences. And this was, by the way, the same way in Saints Row 1 and 2 Mayhem. I used to love when Mayhem sent me to the suburbs districts, or even the suburbs expansion districts in Saints Row 2, because there were just tons of fences. So now, I stayed in one small area and was able to pretty much decimate that level without any strain or stress whatsoever. So, now we'll get started with the heart. And that one is up on Arapice Island, or however the hell you pronounce that. And again, Sandbox Snobbery, I'm sitting here looking for a good vehicle, so I'll take the motorcycle. I'm not a big fan of the motorcycles in this game. I don't like the way they handle it at all. I think I've mentioned that on some of my other videos. I think they're a little bit too quote-unquote realistic in terms of the way that the camera kind of gets all discombobulated on you. I'm guessing Volition was trying to simulate what it must feel like to be on a motorcycle driving at this kind of speed. I mean, I'm not too bad with the motorcycle. I can handle them, but I'm not crazy about the way they handle them. My favorite motorcycles, and I know I mentioned this in one of the videos, I believe it was with the jumps video that I posted. My favorite motorcycles of all time in video games were from Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. Those motorcycles handled so beautifully. Now here, this is actually not as hard as it might otherwise be because there are a lot of fences inside. So, let's get started. Another good trick, if you're running short on multiplier, is to get, I'm sorry, if you're running short on points, get your multiplier up a little bit before you start destroying the fences. Why? Because the fences will allow you to keep your multiplier going. So if you already, let's say you have a 20 multiplier already, and you're near a bunch of fences, you start shooting the fences, you can easily get your multiplier up to 30, 40, 50, 60, even 100 if there are enough fences. I mean, look how fast my multiplier is getting up, just from just from fencing.
Oh!
I only got up to the 20s there. But again, it's still not going to be too hard. The biggest challenge here is going to be trying to stay alive and not get hit too bad while you're building up the point. But I've got 4 minutes left and about 20% of the dollar amount that I need to pass the activity. You know what? You might as well go for the gang trucks. No fences here. You know, look at this. I'm up to 28, and now I just keep hammering these fences. And look how fast my multiplier is going. Unfortunately, I ran out of fences before turning around. I mentioned this in one of the previous levels. The higher you get your multiplier, the faster the clock counts down on it. And again, what that means in English is that if you're at 10 or 15 or 20, the game gives you a decent amount of time to keep going. But once you start getting over 30 and 40, all of a sudden, it's harder to maintain the multiplier. And the higher the number goes, the harder it is to keep that multiplier going up. Alright, I'm about halfway there, and I got 3 minutes left, so I'm not too worried about this. And again, if it weren't for these fences, I'd be struggling right now. Because there aren't a lot of cars, there aren't a lot of people, but there are a ton of fences.
Wow.
Alright, now I'm at 150 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. And again, this comes to fences.
This is so much more relaxing than painting.
That was nice. I love blowing boots off before they can get out of the car, out of the truck. So another thing that's important to do, especially now that I'm up to 4 gang notoriety and 2 police notoriety, is to keep moving. Try not to just stand in one place because you become more of an easier target. So I'm now at 200,000, over 200,000, with 2 minutes to go, so I'm not really worried about this. My multiplier is up to 30s. That's why I love it when the gangs start really coming after you, because it really makes getting your multiplier easier. Again, you have to balance that with the fact that sometimes they can be a little devastating. One thing I highly recommend is to have your damages upgraded to at least to level 3. In terms of, you have your infinite sprint, have all your health upgrade as far as you can go, and to upgrade your weapon. It just makes the mission easier. Alright? So I hope you enjoyed the video. As always, watch for the videos of my band and more Saints Row 3, and everybody have a great night.